students, colleagues, distinguished guests. May I begin by saying that we owe a considerable debt to those who have organised this conference. It's a very large undertaking, I'm sure you'll agree, and this requires a great deal of time, work and thought. It's unfortunate then that having set such commendably high standards that the organisers should slip by inviting me to do two welcome addresses. You may recall that on Wednesday evening I gave a presentation of welcome to you all, and I note from the programme that I'm down to welcome you again this morning. And I understood that our Vice-Chancellor, Richard Barnett, welcomed you yesterday. Now, in Ireland we have a saying called Céad Míle Fáilte. It means 100,000 welcomes. And I think we're getting close to that, so you're very welcome. From what I hear, it's been an excellent conference so far, and what a good kickstart to global events that are going to be planned for Doctoral Midwifery Research Society. This conference also celebrates the fact that the RCM and the DMRS have a new partnership agreement to support doctoral midwifery research. This is good news, and it's also a fantastic opportunity to advance all aspects of midwifery research, including education, theory, which we're going to look at today, and of course practice. Now, you know better than I that the midwifery profession is not a static thing. It is vibrant and is continually improving its service to society. In her video on your RCM webpage, your General Secretary, Cathy Warwick, identifies some of the challenges facing UK midwives. These include midwifery numbers and resources, of course, pay and conditions, midwives' role in public health, again a very important agenda, manage midwifery networks, and ensuring that the government embraces the message that if they employ enough midwives and support them, the result will be high quality of care and fewer unnecessary interventions. Midwives here at Ulster are keen to do their bit to meet these challenges. People in our society require and deserve to be cared for by intelligent, caring and skilled midwives who have been educated in an environment where knowledge is generated, challenged, tested, applied, as well as being taught. Most of us in this room are blessed because we work in such an environment, and many of us are privileged to teach students who are hungry for knowledge. Before her tragic death in 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger, Krista McCullough, do you remember her? She said, "Every day I touch the future because I teach." Now, by educating the next generation of midwives, you too are allowed to touch the future. And to illustrate further how you can touch the future, as Marlene says, we have another full day of excellent speakers and thought-provoking presentations. I'll not repeat the speakers, but you're in for a treat. I hope you have been allowed to take some time off from the conference programme to explore and enjoy the province. For those of you who are from outside Northern Ireland, I hope your experience over the last few days will make you wish to return. Be assured you will have the warmest of welcomes. Now, on Wednesday evening, some of you will recall that I showed you that Northern Irish people were talented and industrious. Now, over the last few days, you may also have learned that we are very unassuming, and we have a relatively dark sense of humour. And to give you two examples of this, first is a story about the Northern Ireland ambassador to Washington, D.C. He went to Washington, D.C. a few weeks before Christmas, and he was approached by a reporter from the Washington Post who asked him, you know, "You're a new ambassador, what would you like for Christmas?" We are very unassuming in Northern Ireland, very shy, so we didn't want to say too much. So we said, "Oh, well, just have a glass or a jar of glazed fruit. That's all I want." He said, "All you want, that's all I want." So a few days later in the Washington Post, there was a front page story, "What newly appointed ambassadors want for Christmas." So the ambassador of Sweden wanted peace in the Middle East. The ambassador of France wanted an end to world poverty, and the ambassador from Northern Ireland wanted a jar of glazed fruit. So sometimes it doesn't be a good thing to be too shy. I did mention that we have a dark sense of humour. A year or so ago, Terry Wade was here giving a presentation. You all remember Terry Waite, who was one of the hostages in Lebanon. Given a presentation, he told a story that he tells me was true. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but I'll share it with you. But it does show the dark sense of humour that we have in Northern Ireland. He was coming in from, some of you may have flown into Belfast City Airport. He was flying in from the airport, and he knows he's about 6'7", big man, and everybody recognises him. So every so often people come up and say, "You're Terry Waite." So he's sitting in the back of the taxi reading his paper, and he notices that the taxi driver is looking in his mirror and sizing him up. And he knew it was coming, so after a period of 5 or 10 minutes on the way into central Belfast, the taxi driver, he said, "Are you that Terry Waite guy?" And Terry Waite says, "Yes, I am." And the taxi driver said, "I suppose you'd be more comfortable in the boot." He took it. Anyway, he took it very well. But it does give and there are several other stories, but it does give you an insight into the dark sense of humour that we have in Northern Ireland. It's probably something to do with our dark past over the last 30 or 40 years. This is the last time I'm going to be talking to you today, unless Marlene wants me to welcome you to coffee and to lunch. But I would want you to leave the conference with some pearls of wisdom, and I would not presume that I have any pearls of wisdom myself. But the Dalai Lama visited the university here a few years back, and he presented us with his 10 instructions for life, and I'll leave you with these. I think the first few of these are very relevant for health professionals and perhaps midwives. First one, follow the 3 R's. Respect for self, respect for others, and responsibility for all your actions. 2, when you realise you've made a mistake, take immediate steps to correct it. 3, open your arms to change, but don't let go of your values. 4, share your knowledge, it can improve the lives of others. 5, remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. 6, value diversity. 7, remember that silence is sometimes the best answer. Right? That's a little joke between Marlon and I. Once a year, go someplace you've never been before. 9, judge your success by what you've had to give up in order to get it. And 10, remember that the best relationship is one in which your love for each other exceeds your need for each other. Thank you.